All right, let's jump right in. We all love being able to work from pretty much anywhere, right? But for the IT teams out there, that freedom creates a massive headache. How do you give people easy access to everything they need without, throwing open the doors to the entire internet? It's a really delicate balancing act, and if you get it wrong, things can go sideways fast. So, let's talk about how to get it right.
And this really is the fundamental question, isn't it? You have to open things up for people to get their jobs done, but every single one of those connection points is a potential vulnerability. The traditional ways of doing this often meant giving users a direct pipeline right into the corporate network, which is a huge security risk. So, how do you solve this puzzle? How do you let people in without just handing over the keys to the entire kingdom?
Well, that brings us to a much more modern way of looking at this problem. The solution is called Omnissa Unified Access Gateway, or as you'll probably hear it called, UAG. And I want you to think of it less like a wide-open door and more like a really intelligent, really strict, but very effective gatekeeper. Okay, so what is this thing exactly? Let's break down that definition. Hardened basically means it's built like a tank. It's been locked down specifically to resist attacks. But the most important term on this slide, the one to really remember, is proxy-based. This means UAG acts as a trusted middleman, a go-between. It makes sure that no traffic from the outside world ever gets to talk directly to your internal network. That's the whole ballgame. This slide just lays it out perfectly. Over on the left, that's the old-school VPN model, a big, direct tunnel straight into your private network. This creates a massive attack surface and a nightmare of complex firewall rules. Now, look at the UAG approach on the right. It's totally different. It sets up a secure, individual proxy connection for each and every application. The result? A much simpler, much more secure setup, with just a tiny fraction of the exposure. So how does this all work in the real world? Well, the magic happens right at the edge of your network, in a special isolated area called the DMZ, or the Demilitarized Zone. The best way to think of it is like a secure lobby or an airlock for your entire network. So let's follow a connection from start to finish. Okay, check out this flow. A user, somewhere out on the internet, asks for access. The UAG, which is sitting safely in that DMZ, intercepts the request. Now here's the critical part. It authenticates the user right there, before a single packet of that traffic gets anywhere close to your trusted internal network. Only after it's confirmed who they are does the UAG build a specific, secure proxy connection to only the one resource they're allowed to access. Nothing more, nothing less. And this quote really just sums it all up. The UAG gives you that super strong, granular security for your apps and your data, but you get to do it without all the overhead and the massive risks that come with a traditional all-or-nothing VPN. It's not just a different tool, it's a fundamentally smarter way of looking at secure access.
But wait, it does more than just act as a proxy. UAG is actually packed with powerful features that are designed for today's companies. So let's take a quick look at what else this digital gatekeeper is capable of.
You know, UAG is not a one-trick pony. It's really designed to be the single front door for a whole bunch of different enterprise services. So whether you're giving people access to virtual desktops with Horizon, securing specific mobile apps with a per-app tunnel, or enabling secure file and email access, UAG can handle all of it. And it does all this with some really serious security credentials. We're talking FIPS 140-2 compliance, which is a US government standard for cryptography. It's incredibly tough. It also, of course, supports modern authentication methods like multi-factor and certificates. And, like we saw, it has that killer feature of authenticating users before they ever get a sniff of your internal systems.
Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but it's got to be a pain to set up, right? Actually, no. It's delivered as a pre-packaged virtual appliance. You can just deploy it super easily on major platforms like VMware ESXi or Microsoft Hyper-V. And for all you automation fans out there, you can even deploy it using PowerShell scripts.
And it's not just easy to get started with, it's built to scale. As your organization grows and you get more and more traffic, you just add more UAG appliances to handle the load. This is called horizontal scaling, and it means you're never going to get painted into a corner. Okay, so we've covered a lot of the technical how, but now let's shift gears and talk about the business why. Because the benefits of UAG go way beyond just security. It can have a real, tangible impact on the bottom line. And here is the absolute core of that business case. In the past, you might have needed a separate appliance for your VPN, another one for a virtual desktop gateway, and maybe yet another for secure file access.
it gets complicated and expensive really, really fast. UAG lets you consolidate all of those jobs into a single, unified platform.
And that consolidation? Well, it has a direct financial impact. When you have a simpler architecture, you have less hardware to buy, which immediately reduces your capital expenses. It also means lower maintenance costs for your team and streamlined security management, which brings down your day-to-day operational expenses.
Let's just put it plainly. Your CapEx goes down because you're buying and deploying fewer boxes, whether they're physical or virtual. And your OpEx goes down because your team is maintaining one simple platform instead of juggling a complex mess of different solutions. It is a clear, undeniable win-win for the IT budget.
So we'll end with this question. That old model of a hard perimeter with a few VPN tunnels poked through it, it just doesn't work in a world of remote work and cloud apps. It's an architecture built for the past. A solution like UAG represents a modern, far more intelligent approach. It's not about building higher walls anymore. It's about having a smarter gatekeeper. Definitely something to think about.